welcome. Today is a foundation review day, and the foundation I'm going to test today is the NYX Born to Glow foundation. I have no idea how new this is to me. I just noticed in the store a week ago, so I had to pick it up because it screams my name with the radiant glow it promises to give. There is 45 shades, so pretty good shade selection. I have to say that I got the shade Porcelain. I think it was the second lightest shade, and although I am very fair, I'm not the whitest there is, so if you are very pale, you might not find a shade for you, but it does seem to go quite far away with the deeper tones. There is 1.01 fluid ounce and 30 milliliters, so the standard amount of product in it. It's a squeezy tube, and there is a safety seal as well, which is always appreciated. What it promises to be is to be radiant glowy foundation, and that's pretty much it. So not too much claims, but that's enough for me. Let's get into the application so you can see my first impression and first reactions of this, and then we'll get back. I have already washed and moisturized and primed my face with this Caroline Meteorite, which I use every time I do foundation review. So let's get into the main thing. Consistency it's not very thick, but it stays in place, so not very liquidy either. As usual, Smashbox blurring foundation brush is my thing. And let's start with the foundation. Very first impression is that it went really smoothly on this cheek area, which well usually isn't any kind of problem, but still it does look very skin-like and natural, so looking good so far. Let's see how it goes with the forehead. Again, very easy application. No streaks, no marks, nothing. Looks very skin-like, very natural looking. Liking this so far. So now to the problem zone. I didn't use pore filling primer, which I usually do, but on these foundation reviews I don't, just to see how it manages to stay on my large pores. I also usually use some kind of oil controlling primer just to these kind of creases on my nose to prevent the oiliness. It went really smoothly on my nose as well. There is slightly that problem I usually have, the foundation not sticking to my nose very well. This is definitely not the first or the last foundation which does that. It's just for some reason my nose is something that foundation just don't want to stick to very easily. Those primers also help to that problem, so that's why I usually have problem more when I don't use any pore filling primer. Shade does look a bit more cool toned actually than my skin is. It is, I wouldn't say lighter, it's just a tiny bit more cool toned. The other shade I was thinking about, which was light enough, was way too yellow, so I can always manage more easier a bit more cool toned than to do yellow one. I can always warm this up. Here's a bit closer look of my skin so you can see how it looks. It's really pretty looking foundation. It does look like it's setting down at least a bit. It is sticky to feeling, but I'll do rest of my makeup now and we'll see how it wears during the application, and I'll come back. Okay, as you see, I'm quite impressed actually with the foundation. It looks really good. The first application or the first impression was really good, and it has stayed as it is. Now that I have my full makeup on, it took maybe half an hour or so to do this. I took my time and I haven't seen any changes. I did powder this cheek area and my nose, and I haven't powdered any other part of my face, and it's looking really good. What I like about this is that it's not too glowy. It's not as glowy as, for example, the new Anastasia Glowy Foundation. It's kind of natural glowy and it looks really natural on skin. Yes, you can see that I have makeup on, but it's not like cakey makeup. It's just even skin tone. And as I mentioned, I can see my hyperpigmentation peeking through, but not in a bad way. It's like a natural way. It has actually set down quite well, so you might be able to use powder products on top without powdering. It is just the slightest bit of tacky, but it's really not very kind of moist or tacky, so it does feel quite good. I have very high hopes. If this lasts well on my skin, this for sure will be one of my favorites. It's very affordable. I think it's 10 American dollars. Here in Finland it was around 13 euros, so nothing major. And I love, if this is a great foundation, this is great when traveling because the package is so light and easy to use. It is now 1:30, so I finished the first application at 1 o'clock around, so that will be check-in time. I will do checkups during the day to see how it lasts on my skin. I try to have it on at least 8 hours so we can see how it wears during the day. But now, let's go to the first check-in. The foundation has been now on for 4.5 hours, and I just checked from Miru that everything is looking really good. Well, you can see glasses and a little bit of smudging mascara, but ignore that. My forehead, chin, cheeks, nose, everything looks pretty much as it was. Just a tiny bit kind of glow is wrong word. It's just it been warming up next to my skin, so it looks a bit more softer. I think softer is better word, but really good. And I didn't powder my forehead or chin, just my nose and the cheek area where I have blush and highlights. And usually my skin looks like this at this time when I have powdered, and if I haven't, it's more oily and more glowy. So I'm really impressed of how this looks now. So fingers crossed that we have same results after 4 more hours. So we'll see if this is a winner. But now I need to show what's going on behind me. Can you see? It's fall. I have this amazing turn to yellow tree next to my apartment. It's so amazing. The leaves are all red and yellow and all possible fall colors. But I'll check in after a few hours to see how it goes during the rest of the day. It is now almost 9 o'clock, so this foundation has been on about 9 hours, something like that. And this is very interesting. First of all, let's ignore again these glass pad marks. They are there. What's interesting is that although it does look very makeup-y on my upper lip and my chin, it hasn't breaked or creased or anything. It's still smooth, but it's kind of lifted from the skin to kind of, it looks like it's staying on top of the skin. As for on my cheeks, it's still kind of melted into the skin, if that makes any sense. Otherwise, everywhere else, it's still on, no rubbing off. Just a little bit of oiliness on next to my nose, nothing major, and we need to remember no primer next to my nose, which I usually use. My nose, top of my nose looks perfect still, which is very, very unusual at this time of day. This part looks great. The only thing is this heaviness next to my mouth. I'm pretty sure if I do this, yeah, it does wipe off pretty much totally. So the oils, on my skin has kind of lifted the foundation off from my skin, but it hasn't, as I mentioned, it hasn't break down. Usually there would be these kind of creases and separation and all that kind of nasty stuff, and now there's nothing. It's just flying on top of the skin. So I didn't powder this, so it might be if I powder it, it's not, and again, no primer, so I definitely need to test this again with primer and powder. I'll let you know in the description box what happened with that combination. I'll do that tomorrow, so I'll get that to this video when you see this. Definitely an interesting one. It's $10, 13 euros. The price point is really good, and as it's looking this good, I'm certainly going to use this again. It's really, really looking great on my skin, and the shade, actually, it did look a bit too pink and maybe a bit too light in the first application, but during the day I haven't noticed anything strange, so maybe it did oxidize a little bit. Not much. It is a bit light, but nothing major, so easily fixable with bronzer or anything like that. But thumbs up with this one. It's looking really, really great. Oily skin, not so much. I wouldn't recommend it even to try, but dry, normal combination skin, it seems to be working really well. But that's it. If you have any requests for the videos, as usual, leave a comment below or contact me in Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or here or wherever you can reach me. Now I wish you have a great day and see you next time. Bye bye.